it's been a while since I've been on camera.
I know.
Now personal assistant as well as videographer.
I love how you just told me you love planning stuff, but as I say, I was hating it.
I know, I actually do.
I want everyone to leave saying that's the best in-person experience I've ever had. And I'm super confident we will. Because at the end of the day, doing a meetup and networking is going to be good on its own.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like, in terms of people's expectations, I think they're not ultimately that high in terms of what they're getting, because I think just being around other people, the general chit chat that will happen is good. I want to kind of blow everyone away in terms of what they can take from the weekend, and I want them leaving not only with a way bigger way that they're thinking, but also being able to actually put, like, that's one of the biggest feedbacks that I've heard. So for me, it was everyone who's coming has been to a few of these, so I wanted to kind of get an understanding of, like, hey, what have you been to before? What did you like, etc. Everyone says, like, yeah, they're like super motivating. It's good to hear from people, but usually we get information that we don't end up actioning because it's just like almost like an overload of information, and two, without maybe that one-to-one personalization.
It can become quite overwhelming, and I think when you go to things like this, obviously everyone will be at slightly different stages of their business, or they have slightly different problems that they need to look at. So I think when it comes to taking value away from those days and getting all of that information, it's how do you apply that within your own business? And I think what you're looking to do really would sell that. So I think if we think about how do we frame the resources that you've got that are going to back the self-assessment.
Yeah.
That's what it is really, isn't it? It's that self-assessment. So what are the resources that you're going to provide to back that self-assessment? So the information going in, they can instantly go, okay, how does this apply to my business? Do that self-assessment, and then they've got that action plan when they leave, rather than, oh, I've got loads of information. Because I know for me, when I've been to events in the past, I've been to a lot of corporate events especially, you get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information, and yes, there's an energy there, you've got a buzz, you've got this enthusiasm, oh yeah, I want to do that, I want to do this, but it becomes so many different things. Your focus then becomes split, and you go, well, I want to do that, and I want to do that, and I want to do that, but what's actually the most important thing to move my business?
Yeah. And that's why I've actually had almost in a way a change of the 3-day structure.
Here we go.
Initially what I was planning was day one-to-one whiteboard session, and it would just be kind of people opening up all bottlenecks, problem solving. Then Saturday going into more of like teaching core things that they can be doing for their business, and Sunday a bit more of that, and then almost going through a recap and an action plan for each person. So like your takeaways from the weekend, and so that was the initial plan. And then I was thinking about it yesterday, and I want to, because I feel sometimes just how naturally people can be, I feel people could kind of go off in tangents and off topics, and I feel it could lose some momentum and power. So if we break down growing a coaching business, we have leads, sales, and delivery. Like they're the three buckets that you have. So instead of kind of having this free for all where people will just be kind of going in different ways, which as I said could lose something, just treating that as 3 separate days. So what I'm thinking is day one, okay, this is like the overall picture of things.
Yeah.
We're going to map out, we're going to get you to think a lot deeper about your ideal client, the dream outcome, the things that stop them, the things that are going to get there, how your coaching frameworks can be put in place, and actually coin them with names, which is going to differentiate you from other coaches. So building that bigger picture. So that's the map. And then, okay, sometimes people have a map. We know people love to plan. Their calendars will look perfect, but they procrastinate and they don't execute. So with the map, you need the machine, which is going to essentially be the thing that feeds everything. Yeah. And for each individual coming up with a specific cadence. Initially building out the map. Then when they're super clear on that, they're like, hey, I have the map. This looks amazing. Now, how do I get more leads? How do I turn those leads into clients? And how do I deliver at the highest level for those clients? Yeah. And that's going to come through the machine. So then what we're going to do is break down each component of the machine, day 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to help specifically come up with the cadence, posting short form every day, lead magnet once a week, like whatever it looks like in terms of how they're attracting leads into the pipeline. So helping them with, okay, this is what you need to actually be executing.
So in terms of how that would actually work, in the day? How are you driving the focus into them applying that to their own business? And then 2, the community aspect of leveraging the fact that they're all there with a like-minded group. Is there a plan of action that we can do to incorporate those things? Because I think that's important for us to think about. Is we've got the elements. I think you're quite clear on what it is you're teaching. But if the main goal of the day is to bring these like-minded people together and then give them a tangible outcome that they can go away and apply to their business and take action towards, we need to consider, okay, what does that actually look like? Is that you present to the room and maybe even break out into different rooms and get individuals to do an exercise together, because that will drive the community aspect. Let's reflect on it, because that also helps information go in. And then we maybe have an individual session, or you do it in pairs or groups where they do an exercise, which I think you've got some resources for anyway for the exercises. I think I'm keen to just understand how that will flow in the day.
Yeah, good question. And something definitely to work on together here, because, okay, so a few things I was thinking. One, something I definitely want to have that I'm working on getting built is like workbooks for people to have. So like these ideas that I've been telling you about, the frameworks and the maps and stuff, to actually have a visual diagram for that. Because I want people to go away and have their visual map. So actually working on filling that in, and then having, just to ask your question about getting people to communicate, actually saying like, okay, if it's a green, yellow, red, from this part, like who's at a yellow, who's at a red, and kind of say, okay, can you open up a bit more about that? So still will be some like real-time feedback in terms of the area they're struggling with, and just more centered around the subject that we're on. So essentially, people will be sharing their bottlenecks and their struggles throughout the weekend, but we'll make sure it's very much on course for what they're doing. Because the thing I was thinking about was, let's say if I was going to be speaking about delivery on Sunday, and on Friday we mentioned asking people about bottlenecks, and someone said, oh, I'm having this issue in my coaching. I'm like, hey, I kind of want to spend time answering that, but I also know we're speaking about that on Sunday, and I don't want to be like, oh, we're covering that on Sunday. So it's like, if we keep everything like super dialed, and then it's just, I think it's up to me to be asking the right, so if someone brings forward a problem, saying like, does anyone else experience that? Or has anyone else dealt with that? And so, you know, like my ability to bring in the room is going to be really important and get that.
Yeah, because if you want to drive conversation, right, logistics. Okay, so villa-wise, you've got 25 people coming in. Do you have 25 places for them to sit on? Should we get them cross-legged on the floor like preschool?
Well, so this is the thing. So a whiteboard wouldn't fit in the Ferrari. So then, like, how do I get that to the villa?
Your whiteboard's also attached to your wall.
I'll have to buy one. I can just get it shipped. Yeah, fair.
Right, we're in Dubai.
Yeah.
Are we having physical workbooks or digital?
Physical.
Ooh, we ordered them.
No.
Of course not. So we need the work.
I don't even have, I'll really think about things, because then I'll be like, okay, if that's on that page and this can't be on that page and it has to be, so I really like, which is good.
I think it is important because it should seamlessly move and follow the actual agenda of the day.
I should really go visit to think about how the seating arrangement will, I've been there and I was like, yeah, this is fine. I didn't really think about how do I want it to exactly look on the day set up.
It would be good if we could do that, especially if we're thinking about, we're going to do drinks as well. Okay, where are we laying out the drinks, where are we laying out the food, what's the setup look like, how do we want to present it? What I would say is if we just make sure that we've got here anything that actually needs to be pre-prepared and pre-ordered, we are 3 weeks. Yeah, let's go.
Let's go now.
I think it's important we do that. So if we can just make sure...
I just need a female touch, basically. That's why you're here.
Organisation. Cool. When are we going?
Yeah, we just need to go, don't we?
Yeah, we just need to go.
I think I have. There's a live-in maid who's there. I got her WhatsApp. I'll message.
Do it now.
Oh, I wasn't planning to do one.
The resource activities are the most important part.
If I hear that word again.
I'm actually dead.
I literally only said to Hayden on Saturday, I'm thinking doing workbooks, and he's like, oh, that would be sick.
And now I'm there like, yes, the resource activity is the most important element.
How many do you have planned? I'm like, I haven't a fucking clue. All jokes aside, so page 1, cover page. Page 2, just kind of like a welcome to the event and like the goal of it. Page 3, weekend overview. I know these things probably aren't that important, but I think it could be.
They are, because it's a keepsake as well.
Okay, cool. Page 4, baseline audit. Page 5 will be kind of showing them the market command funnel of what we're going to be focusing on. So like the audience, the sales and delivery. And saying, okay, we're going to help you get leads coming in daily, sales coming in weekly, and clients who stay for years. That's like the goal of the weekend that you leave with that. Then page 6 will be moving into audience command. Page 7, some guiding questions. Okay, so the way I would
think, if you've just shown me the traffic light system. That was one. Is there for each section the map, the machine, the offer, then the audience command?
Don't say it. Don't say the word.
Resource activity that goes alongside it.
I don't know. Stop pressuring me.
So you've got shiny object syndrome because all you care about is the boat pie.
I know. Fair.
No, but no, because you've shown me the results.
I know, I haven't. I'm teasing. So this was the other thing. I don't actually, you might disagree, I think you will. I didn't want it to be too
prescribed.
Too workbook heavy either. So I kind of wanted a lot of it. Okay, for example.
Which are the core activities that you think are important that they leave with done and with clarity?
Okay, so it's initially the map.
Yeah,
map. Which is, it's going to be super clear for them to know, okay, this is the dream outcome I help people achieve. These are the things that hold them back from achieving it. These are the milestones I'll help them achieve. So let's just do it for my business, for example. So the goal is to help anyone who comes to me build a 50k freedom fitness empire.
Yeah.
The thing that stops them from doing it is they're chasing clients instead of choosing. They feel chained to their business. If they weren't working, it would stop. And there's like crickets instead of clients in terms of lead flow. And what the market command funnel aims to do is help them get leads in daily, sales and clients who stay for years.
Yeah.
And then that's built into the projects, which is like for leads coming in daily, it's the authority amplifier and the daily demand machine. Like they're the names I have. So they're like the project names. So it's literally getting everyone to have what I just explained for them. So that's going to give them like, okay, now I'm like super clear on who, like what I'm marketing and like conviction in my messaging. I'm also super clear on conviction on a sales call, and then when someone comes on from a delivery component, I'm now actually thinking of it a lot more of a client journey rather than just.
Yes.
I think if everyone went away with how much clarity I have in the one I just explained to you, if they all had that, I think that's a huge
So.
Yes.
I'm going to say each day you have a.
1, 2. I know what you're going to say without saying it. Resource. What's it called again?
What's it called again? I wasn't going to say resource activity. I was going to say each day you have one clear goal.
Yes.
Right. Your clear goal on day one, obviously, you're going through the map, the machine, the offer. The outcome that you want for each of those individuals is the map. Or is that for the end of the...
Probably at the start. Okay,
so
maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. If you don't want overly prescribed, what we do is we break it down each day. This is the outcome I want for all of them. This is the goal of the day. So they're going to walk away with this understanding, this resource, done, that action point that they can take away. And if we do that for each day, then you don't need to be overly prescribed with anything else other than the when is lunch, because that's the most important element.
Yes.
And what is the resource activity that's going to help them do that? So you prescribe in the agenda what you're going to be covering in your presentation, and then you leave everything else to be free flow.
Yeah. So
Day one, goal one.
Now I've just had a second wave.
Oh no.
I know. Sorry. Well, you'll love the Friday with what I'm going to say, because it's very resource heavy.
Okay, cool.
But then I don't know, is it too resource heavy? So what I was thinking was, could day one literally be like morning block? It's all, because I'm afraid about me rushing the map. So could it literally be like the only 2 goals in day one is morning block, everyone has the map, and we had to spend all the time so everyone's super clear that like it's worth spending time on. And in the afternoon, we all build out the machine, and everyone's super clear on like the cadence of what they're doing and having that. And then the Saturday and the Sunday is the specific nuances of that.
Yeah, if you're going to do any deep focused kind of work for clarity, then it would be day one. But like you say, just don't do too much of it. But I think, again, if you want that, I think that would boost the connection in the room anyway. So the main thing that I want to walk away from here before you jump on your call in 20 minutes is day, goal.
Okay, this is where my brain, I kind of think, because I want it to flow perfectly.
I don't want an overly prescribed agenda, but I want it to be perfect.
That's true. That's very contradictory.
What's the goal? Day one goal. What do you want people to take away from day one?
Okay, so if we strip it back in terms of like where people should be starting, I think it's like getting super clear on their audience, so their ideal client, how to speak to them in an important way. So, you know, if we're going to like frustrations and wants in the immediate, and how you can kind of signal, like that is probably where you should start before you get into like the deeper level stuff, because that all leads into content and ads.
Yeah, to be fair, you're not doing this for new business, like you're doing this specifically for coaches. So, sorry, my brain, because I think about general business, I think, or offer, like what are you actually trying to sell? They're all trying to sell online coaching. So yeah, okay, that makes sense.
If you think about the map, for us to discover the dream outcome, the things that hold them back from getting there, that comes through doing that. If you think about it, if we're building out the map, we need to spend some time speaking about their like niche and the specifics and getting them to think about it so they can build that out correctly. So if day one is building out the map, where we get super clear on their audience and their marketer, their ideal client, we get super clear on the aim that they have to help, the milestones they have to help them achieve, and then get super clear on how they're going to do that through their coaching program. So why I'm conflicted between it is that's kind of going through, so it's almost like we're doing a deep dive specifically into their leads, sales and delivery at the start, and getting them to understand specifically to them. But then we'll be teaching strategy on lead, sales and delivery in a deep so for example,
you're getting them to get clarity first and then deep dive into the problems
basically
later.
For example, if on a Friday we're discussing about that, if on the Saturday Hayden's speaking about how to bring qualified leads into your ecosystem, he'll be talking about the strategy. But in my head, they'll be able to think about that strategy more when there's the like clarity in terms of the messaging and who they're. Oh, I'm thinking now. Could the machine be built on the Sunday? Because it ties everything together. Sorry, I know. Maps, machines, very confusing. This is good.
Okay. Fridays.
So it's knowing the overall structure. If you have this, you can be super clear in your marketing, sales and delivery. That's Friday. Then Saturday is going through, and that can actually keep it a bit more one-to-one and interactive. If I'm like, the goal is going around the room, that's Friday. Then Saturday is the strategy around each of those components. So we'll be diving into the marketing, the offer and the delivery. And then on Sunday, you now have clarity on what to do, the strategy on how to do it. Now, let's put it together to execute it. What I love here is something I was doing with clients during the week, was explaining to them what they should be doing. So I think as any kind of like business owner, entrepreneur, when they're doing something you want to create, which I spent time doing yesterday, you want to communicate that creation, which we just did, and then get feedback, which I'll do now with Hayden. It's like a loop. Create, be by yourself, get creative, have some time with your partner, communicate that, which get feedback, whether kind of from you, but also from here, because communicate and then refine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the flow. So that this kind of has fit nicely, because now I can share just what we've done, and there might be some tweaks that he can kind of see from an outside perspective.
Perfect. So whilst you do that, I'm going to get a camera on you guys, and then I'm going to sit down and just map out logistically what we need to do.
Okay, sweet. I mean, Kez, she's still here now. She's filming us. She's helping plan the logistics and the weekend. I'm liking how it's coming together. So basically, the way that I'm thinking for Friday, Saturday and Sunday, with Sunday being a half day, 5 3-hour blocks. So then to kind of keep us structured, so obviously we want the one-to-one, we want the kind of like interaction, being able to be off the cuff, but I also think making sure we're covering all the bases without feeling like we have to rush any specific area. Block 1 to be everything around the overall map. So it makes me super clear on like how I differentiate myself from other business coaches, how we as FitPro CEO differentiate ourselves. Also, it can speak directly to the frustrations that people have within their business, which obviously you can go in deeper layers. But then also from a sales perspective, it gives a conviction into sales call, like, okay, this is why our program is different to what you've experienced before, and this is how we can help. It gets you really crystal clear on, okay, I know what the goal is, but I also know very much how to get you there. I think that's an amazing foundation for the whole weekend.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What have you taken away from the weekend? Let's build out your machine, and what's your 90-day game plan based on that? Like, I think that's a great way to finish. Friday is taking a step back and just getting super clear on the messaging and the marketing. The Saturday is using what you have and actually having the strategies that are working now for that. So on Friday, you get clear on who you're messaging, and the type of messaging. Sunday is actually, okay, this is your plan of action and this is how you execute it, and this should be your cadence in terms of these different things.
Yeah, I love it. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the most sense because I'm assuming we're still going to do at the beginning that whiteboard style, interaction.
Yeah, it's just going to be so much interaction and one-to-one. I think something Kez said that was great. It's like just making sure you have a goal for each block. So, because what we don't want to happen is for there to be a lot of chat, and I know there'd be some nuggets in there, but maybe to feel like, okay, like I feel like we had good conversations, but did we achieve what we wanted to achieve from that, if that makes sense? If we consider every block in between lunch a session, do we have a clear goal of what we want to achieve in each session?
What you just explained there though, like every single bit, there's a huge outcome that happens from it. So the message first there, they're obviously, that's the outcome they're going to be getting. They're going to be crystal clear on their audience and their marketing angles that need to take for it.
Yeah.
And then going into the second section, when we go into the actual conversion side of things, I guarantee there's going to be people in the room that are currently doing things that are actually making their lives harder. These strategies we talk about, they're like, oh, actually, I'm doing this easy way or an easier way. So they've got an execution then of how they need to market themselves or their conversion deliveries. I think how you've got it laid out already, that there's an outcome to it.
Each one, yeah. We know we need to know how to get to our destination, which is here. But then we actually need to have the right machine in place to get to that destination as well, if you'd agree. Okay, guys, so that was a bit of behind the scenes, a fly on the wall style of just going into planning of the Mastermind. I wanted to show you what it looks like leading up to the Mastermind event, because what you're going to see on Instagram is a polished version of the weekend and hearing from people about how amazing the weekend was. But sometimes then you can think, okay, is that something that was always polished? And from what you've seen today, definitely not. Still a lot of indecision in terms of making sure the weekend goes as good as possible, because for me, I genuinely want everyone who comes to the event for it to be the most impactful in-person event that they've ever been at in their lives, and really to change the trajectory, not just of their business, but of their life. And I know that might sound quite deep, but that is genuinely what I want from the weekend. And something I even said on the call to Hayden was, like, we can make our lives easier in terms of planning, and just we could have done like a lot of PowerPoint presentations and just speak and get guest speakers in and fill the time. But I don't want to just fill the time. It's not an event for me. It's an event for all the people coming. And I believe there's a way in my head that is just going to make it incredible. And I'm still etching out the details of what that will look like, because I'll think of one way and then something will come in my mind and be like, yeah, that won't work exactly the way I want, so I need to adjust it. But that's what, when it comes to building something amazing, that's what happens. It's not going to be, this is the way to do it. It's going to be thinking about something. So I need to spend time creating and being aware. This is what I was doing yesterday. I was creating, and with that, I came up with a completely new game plan. And then I messaged Kez today, completely came up with a new game plan for the weekend. And she's like, cool, I'm going over and filming. We need to discuss it. We went into communication mode and we were communicating back and forth. I then spoke to Hayden, getting feedback on what we communicated. And now we're going to be refining things. And that's going to be a process that I'll do until we feel perfect about the weekend. It's easy to think everything's polished. I have all the decisions. And when I launched the Mastermind, I knew exactly what I was doing. Truthfully, when I initially launched it, I didn't know what the weekend would look like at that point. I just knew it was going to be an amazing 3 days, and we're getting clear on what that messaging will look like now. So hope you enjoyed it. If you have any specific questions about future events we may be having, you can click on my Instagram. Just drop me a message with anything specific. It's about our coaching program, if it's about the Mastermind event itself or future Masterminds, we can have a chat.